gotta get your guys.
Who was that?
Everybody.
Everybody.
All those idiots
That's
out there.
Adam's impersonation of
advice.
everybody.
You gotta get your. This is about having fun. Shut up.
I'm definitely clipping that one. That's a lot of fun. Thank you, Adam.
That's the intro.
It's the IDP show, now you know.
All right, we're back, and as promised, we are redrafting the 2023 rookie class with best friend of the show from PFF, from north of the border. It is everyone's fourth favorite Canadian, Jon Macri. Jon, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. Slipping slowly down the rankings in as far as Canadians go. I appreciate that. It's understandable. There's a lot of respectable Canadians, or at least a handful of them. So, but yeah, I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be redrafting the 2023 rookie class with you guys. But more importantly, just happy to be hanging out virtually in the Sode Shack with y'all. Very, very happy indeed.
Yeah, always good to have Jon back on. I feel like, Bobby, it's the inverse of the longer the legendary putt gets from last draft, the further Jon slips down the list of favorite Canadians.
I feel like that day is going to be one that kind of is in your brain for a while. That was an epic day. We had lots of good times on old Shady Hollow.
You did a good job picking out that golf course.
Yeah, but one you never forget, Bob.
Sure.
Just one that the good Lord shined down on all of us that day.
Adam
He said, I want you boys to have fun now.
Adam does not have any alcohol, but he is going to be himself, ladies and gentlemen. You can count on that.
I don't need it at all. I don't. I'm fine without it.
Not a bit. Not a bit. This segment of the episode's off to a great start.
Who
We're
are the
doing
three
great.
Canadians above Jon?
I mean, definitely DJ Keltown,
Okay.
Drake, and probably Justin Bieber.
All right, well,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
that's your list. And you're not speaking
Wait,
for me.
isn't Bill Hader from Canada, or is there another celebrity?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we're gonna say that Bill Hader
It's Ryan
is
Reynolds.
from Ryan Reynolds. There we go.
Okay.
You're
Deadpool.
better than Reynolds. You're
Yeah.
better than Rogan, too.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
those
He didn't
two
create a
slot
cell
in
phone
probably
company,
fifth
though,
and
so-
sixth. So
Yeah, it's true.
Come on, Macri.
I'm still in the top 10. I'm still in the
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah,
I'll take
that's
that.
that's right. That's right. You would be in this first round if we were redrafting our favorite Canadians. So.
You'll never be better than Drake, though.
Yeah, exactly. That is true.
That's probably
Thank
true.
you. That's a good point. I appreciate you bringing that up. So
Yeah,
yes,
I can't argue
as we mentioned before, Adam tried to derail the episode. We are going to be redrafting the 2023 rookie class. This is always a fun exercise before we really and truly get into this year's rookie class to look back on how the value has changed for last year's class. So we're going to go through. We have our XFFL draft results. That's the league that all of us are in. We're using that kind of as our board, and we'll see how things have changed. We've also got some notable undrafted free agents. The lineup is going to be Jon, Bob, myself, and then Adam, and then it will snake back. And we'll do a recap at the end of each round to see how the board shakes out differently. So, Jon, why don't you kick us off with the 101 of the 2023 rookie redraft? Who are you going with?
All right, I was thinking about pivoting different from what we did. We had 101 Bijan Robinson, obviously in the draft last year. I think I'm just gonna stick with that. I feel pretty good in Bijan Robinson still as the 101. Still a big believer in the talent. Not much that happened last year really deterred me from him. I think if Arthur Smith was still there, then I might feel differently. But you got Raheem Morris coming in. You got Kirk Cousins at quarterback. I have to imagine that this offense is just going to be more conducive to fantasy production and overall production, really. So pretty happy with grabbing Bijan still at the 101 and hoping that touchdown production specifically improves and that his opportunities around the goal line improve as well.
Well, Bobo, I don't think you're going to be too upset about this because that leaves you with probably your 101 at the 102.
It does leave me with my 101 here at the 102. You're right, Josh. And at the 102, I'm taking Puka Nacua.
Are
you? Absolutely.
That's
my boy. Get him here at 2. I was worried Jon was going Puka at 1, to be honest with you. And I know y'all are some RB loving fools, and that's fine. There's some place for RBs here in the Sode
I figured
Shack,
Puka
but
was probably going top 4, but
Puka-
not surprised to see him here at 2.
I do disagree with a lot of the value that I'm seeing for Puka, like across fantasy right now. Like I've heard some like Puka for 101 this year, And I don't think he's that high for me. I probably still would want like Marv or Neighbors. But then Puka is in probably like that 103 category for me. Puka's best wide receiver rookie campaign of all time. It's hard to look away from that. This is a gift at 3 because you absolutely know what to do here. But,
I was going to say, I'm just using Keep Trade Cut Dynasty rankings just to kind of give us an idea of where the market is on these guys. And they have Puka Nacua as wide receiver 6.
Wow.
And Bijan Robinson as RB1.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that your next pick here is going to be Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs,
Okay,
yes.
so let's play the inverse here. I had gone Jahmyr. Are you going Puka at 3?
I'm going Puka at 3.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I just kind of want to know where y'all value him at.
Yep.
Addy, you
so,
concur?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is gone Bijan, Puka, and Jahmyr Gibbs. And so not really a whole lot different from the actual draft other than Puka jumping up here to the 102. Addy, you were on the clock with 104 and 105.
Still some really nice talent here.
I think so, too.
A lot of them all kind of right together, though. I think Sam Laporta sticks out a little bit.
I agree.
Let's go ahead and get Sam Laporta.
All right.
Have to love what he did in year 1, tethered to a really good offense. Feel really good about him. And then it's just tough here. You know, do you go A-Chain? Do you go Jordan Addison?
Yeah.
You go Tank Dell?
Look at that smirk.
It's
I tell you, I go Jordan Addison, baby.
You're not worried about the QB stuff.
No, I'm not.
You think they're trading up to get
I think they're about to get somebody good.
J.J.
at QB.
McCarthy?
I think, and I think he's going to do pretty well there.
Yeah, he can sling it. Kevin O'Connell knows what he's doing.
He can mask a lot of the issues.
Yep. Good offensive coordinator. You know, you got good talent. I agree. I'm not. I have been concerned over the last couple of days about JJ, but the more I've thought about it, I think it's smart to move on from Kirk. And if they take McCarthy at 4, if they're able to move up to do some type of deal like that, I'm okay with it. Did you see DJ's latest mock today?
I did, and I saw it was
I think it had
generating
your
some
Vikes.
buzz.
yeah, I heard that.
I think it brought the Vikes up to 4 in some type of trade with the Cardinals, I guess, and they took McCarthy.
Yeah.
That'd be fun, man. Be fun.
Yeah, it's either McCarthy or May is what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
So I
fine
think
with
either
either of
one
those guys.
will be good for those receivers. But yeah, love me some Jordan Addison, dude. I thought he was awesome.
Josh, before you get to your pick, let me ask you, Macri, so to kind of go back to that round, do you have any thought at all about Gibbs at 1? Like, are you even registering that at all, or are you just pretty much locked in on Bijan?
No, for sure. It was definitely consideration, especially if I want to go running back. Like I agree. The top 3 I think is locked. It's Nacua, Gibbs, and Bijan, whatever order. I think you want to take them. You can definitely take them. There's an argument to be made for all those guys. Gibbs just being as electric as he was last year, and clearly kind of getting more involved in the offense as the season went on as well. You love to see that, but yeah, it was super close for me. I'm a believer in Bijan as well. Like I know, it didn't go exactly the way people wanted to last year, but I think that's mostly to do with Arthur Smith and that offense more than anything. So got to expect a turnaround. And that was the only difference maker for me. But I mean, I would have easily went Gibbs or Puka Nacua over Bijan if Arthur Smith was still there, I think.
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it. Is now Bijan with no Arthur Smith going to be like Jahmyr Gibbs or better? Because Jahmyr Gibbs was pretty free at the end of last year. Good coaching staff. They know how to use him. He's catching the ball out of the backfield. Everything that we wanted to see from Gibbs. Yeah, you have to think that stock is crazy up right now for Bijan, especially with Kirk coming in. Like, I hope Kirk can stay healthy and everything, but that's going to elevate that offense. I mean, that offense has been trash for so many years. But anyways, I just had to pick your brain on that one real quick. I'm a Gibbs lover. I can honestly see going either way. After some of the offseason stuff here with the Falcons, I've come around on Bijan's value.
Well, I think you could say who's in the better offense, and I think that's Jahmyr Gibbs. I think the Falcons' offense is going to be better, but it's still conjecture at this point because you got Kirk coming off an Achilles injury. You've got some unproven weapons there in Drake London and Kyle Pitts. How long does it take this kind of offensive core to gel with the offensive play caller?
But the other negative to it is that you've got David Montgomery is a really good,
it's true.
Back there with Gibbs and Bijan. You can say what you want to about Tyler Algier, but Tyler Algier is going to be nothing pretty soon. I think it's going to be Bijan's getting 80-90% of the workload this year.
Yeah, Bijan was pretty good even with Arthur Smith
Yeah.
last year.
He was.
So
kind
he
of
was so
fighting
good.
an uphill battle.
you look at that log, you're like, wow, people are upset about Bijan in year one. I mean, he
Look
did
at the
fine.
quarterbacks. Look at the coaches. I mean, this dude overcame a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it was more opportunity too, right? Like again, they kept using Algier, and then you look at like goal to go situations specifically. Bijan had 10 goal to go rush entire season. He played every game last year, right? Jahmyr Gibbs had 23 across 15 games, so it's a pretty
Wow.
big difference, more than double, right? So then that's where those touchdowns come from as well, right? I think Gibbs had 10 in the regular season. Bijan had 4, so that's part of the frustration too for people, right? It's just not giving him those touches to reach that ceiling even more so.
Yeah.
yeah, I think you're splitting hairs. I think both those guys are top
Yeah.
3 running backs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I would say. So I'm debating right here. I'm looking Devon A-Chain, Tank Dell. Oh man, it's tough.
Rasheed Rice,
Yeah, Rasheed
That's a
Rice
great
is
one, too.
definitely in play. So
Zay Flowers. It's
Yeah.
a good class.
it's
Damn.
a really good class.
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go probably because I went running back in the first round or the first pick. I'm gonna go Tank Dell. Just because I think that team is a team on the rise.
Just because you got him on your team.
I do. I want to just affirm myself taking him at what was he like the third
He was a
312.
312.
Yeah.
312. Good job by
Hey,
Josh.
damaged goods. Oh,
Damage.
brittle-
He's
oh, brittle
already
boy.
back. He's already back from the old
That's
broken
what
leg.
they say.
Yeah.
And he's
Don't
ahead of
be,
schedule.
don't be
too,
mad
I
about
bet.
it. Don't be mad about it. But yeah, I think a lot of guys in play here. I mean, we're not even talking about Jackson Smith and Jigba yet, who
Oh
was
my
the
God,
103. I think that Seahawks offense could be better. So, John, Bob, you're up at the 107. What are you thinking here?
Yeah. It's interesting here that Quentin Johnston was this was standard ADP for him last year. If you were in this range, you were in QJ range. And
Will he even go in the first round?
nah,
I don't.
I
Maybe
would doubt it.
he'll go in the second because I mean he's the only wide receiver left standing in LAC
Josh
right
is
now.
trying to take him for his next pick. Look
Exactly.
at him.
He's trying to
No,
he's trying to
God,
prep the table.
Politicking.
He's
Going
trying
Jack
to prep
Campbell,
it.
baby.
I will say you have some interesting names here to me. Rasheed Rice is interesting. Honestly, Dalton Kincaid is interesting to some extent. Will Anderson is another glaring name that's kind of out there. And then you have Zay Flowers and Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm going to be honest with you.
Please do.
As much as I loved the production that I saw last year out of Zay Flowers, I still want to revert a little bit back to the college production, the tape, the route running from Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think I'm going to take JSN here.
Okay.
I think that even though that the Lockett deal, I know there was like a restructure or maybe it was an extension with Lockett for like another 3
I think
years.
It was a restructure.
There was a
right?
restructure, yeah.
So maybe it was a cap deal.
Because
So
he was
that was-
possibly getting cut.
Yeah, that was them probably saying you're getting cut.
Yeah.
Or we'll we'll redo this contract.
So I'm not as worried about. I think Lockett kind of took a step back last year. We didn't really see typical Lockett. And then you can say what you want to about DK, but DK is getting a little bit older. Who knows what they do at quarterback? I mean, do they continue to roll out Geno? Gosh, what was that around the NFL segment that they did? Sipping on vino, checking on Geno.
Yes, it is.
Man, I love that.
Look at you.
But anyways, I don't know where y'all would fall here, but I'm still moderately optimistic about JSN.
No, I think this
Yeah,
is right in
definitely.
range for him.
I think you could see him be that number 2 option there this next year with Tyler Lockett getting older, and
Yeah.
clearly they were talking about maybe cutting him.
Yeah.
So I like that call a lot. Probably could have been. I mean, he probably should have been in conversation with me at 4. Honestly, I wasn't even thinking about it. It was kind of a little asleep at the wheel.
Little sleep. That coffee hadn't kicked
Yeah,
in
I'm
yet.
going the
John, what
Porter.
do you think about Smith and Jigba there at 107?
Yeah, I'm pissed. I had him up next. I wanted to get him here. Yeah, I would have taken him earlier. I probably in that 5 to 6 range as well. But yeah, I get it. I mean, there's other guys that have been producing and they got potentially better opportunity here going forward. But man, if you're betting long term, you got to love Jackson Smith and Jigba. Even as a rookie, carved out a nice role there with playing as basically the wide receiver 3, right, with Tyler Lockett, who's now 31 years old. There's not much time left remaining for him as relevant. So I'm very happy betting on JSN here in this spot. So that was a nice pick for sure.
All right. Well, you are up with the 108, I believe, and 109. So what are you thinking?
108 and 109. So I think, you know what? I'm going to stick wide receiver here.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with Rashee Rice.
Okay.
Just again, another guy that I just liked a lot what he did as a rookie. I know it's Kansas City's offense. I know they brought in, Hollywood Brown, but I still think Rashee Rice will command targets and at a high rate the way he was. He's just kind of a perfect fit for that offense and how they operate. Just really good yards after the catch and operating against zone defenses. So I'm happy with Rashee Rice, and I would take him. And then my next pick, who do I got here? I'd probably go Devin Achane.
Okay.
He hasn't been taken yet, right? No.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, so I'd be happy with him. Just again, another guy, speed, efficiency as a rookie, perfect offense for him to kind of thrive. Even with Raheem Mostert there, another guy that's getting up there in age. I just love that game breaking ability, right? For fantasy purposes. I mean, you could find guys that get you 9 to 11 fantasy points per game. No problem. Never forget. But what oh damn it. What H did last year.
Totally threw him for a loop.
Oh God. Yeah, what H did last year, like again, you get those weak winning games out of him, right? He was averaging, I think, 17 points per game as a rookie in that offense and not even being the clear number one. That's more rare, and that's, I think, I'm willing to take a swing to get that here at that 109 range.
All right. So Rice and Achane go off the board there at 8 and 9. So Bobo, it is back to you at 110.
Yeah.
Still some good talent left on the board. What are you thinking there? Take us inside that beautiful break.
Brisket on the board.
Brisket on the board. John hasn't
we're not
experienced
far-
that yet.
we're not far
He
from
will
that.
You
soon,
haven't got
though.
Buc-ee's yet?
Not
Oh,
yet.
John, you got to get Buc-ee's on your way down here next time.
On your way down here.
There'll be one, surely.
Yeah, Smith's
out there
Grove.
by
He's
the-
almost going to beat a ball.
Yeah.
You have to
That's
stop.
all right. We'll meet you down
We'll
there.
meet you at Smith's Grove. Yes, we'll meet you there.
Okay.
It's
It's a gas station, John, but
Yeah.
it's so much more.
Hey,
than that.
it's American gas
Yeah.
station. Doesn't get much better.
Yeah, it's not like you're picturing in your mind, though. I promise you that.
Yeah, I hope
yeah.
not. I hope not, because the gas station food we got around here is not ideal. But
Yeah, it's much better here.
Okay, so let's go here. Man, there's really like two guys that I'm looking at. All right, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stay offense. We're going to go Zay Flowers.
Okay.
I talked about it last time, right before maybe taking JSN. Zay Flowers showed to have a little bit of rapport there with Lamar Jackson, and that's not something that that a lot of wide receivers have shown over the years. You know, it's always been Lamar and Mark Andrews, and now maybe if it is Zay Flowers and that offense kind of continues, I like him to kind of flourish, and I like him to kind of be maybe a wide receiver too for us going into 2024. I got to say I was a little bit wrong coming into 2023 on Zay Flowers. I didn't, he's kind of one of those size guys. I just came out with the mock 2.0 today, and it's really hard to kind of evaluate these Troy Franklins, these who's the small one? I always forget. Xavier Worthy. There's several of these Taj Washingtons that are like 175, 180, 5'11", Tank Dell, Josh Downs. They're fun. And the NFL is slowly maybe figuring out how to use them a little bit better. But Zay Flowers and Lamar Jackson is that's a good offense. That's a good wide receiver. So I'll stick with it.
All right, and you grow flowers. You are
Absolutely,
the flower
man.
guy.
Flower
So
guy.
It all just fits
Hashtag
together
flower
beautifully.
guy.
You love to see it. You love to see
Right.
it.
Full
It's like you
circle.
didn't have a choice at all in that.
Nah, you were destined to take Zay
Absolutely.
Flowers.
That's beautiful right there,
Absolutely.
The
brother.
110.
I was chosen.
So, okay, so Zay Flowers goes from 107 to 110, and
Josh's
Anthony
QB.
Richardson is going from the 106 to the 111. For me, my last pick of the first round. So
Nice,
give me
nice,
all of
nice.
that. And Adam, that puts you back up.
Beautiful
at
mind
the
here at the
112.
turn.
Okay. I think we have an obvious pick here, and it's IDP, boys.
Yeah, baby.
It's time.
Yeah,
Is it time?
baby.
Mr. William
Yep.
Anderson
Yep.
Jr.
I love it. I love it. That's beautiful. Now a first round pick in
I love
best
how
ball
hard
drafts as well.
It made Adam laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He isn't. He's being picked like top 10.
Back of the
Pretty
first,
much?
yeah.
Yeah. I haven't really had a lot of back of first picks yet.
I'm at 108 in the one we're doing right now. I went with Daniil Hunter, and I think Anderson went 2 picks later.
I got Roquan Smith at 209.
Dude,
Draft is over, boys.
J-Ball texted me
Oh
today,
my
and he was like,
gosh.
so, Roquan at like the 209, what are your thoughts as far as ADP? And I was like, Jordan, absolutely. I was like,
Who did
you
that?
mean 109? He was like, no, back of the second. Goodness gracious, y'all.
Adam's
me
just
right
taking
there.
people's money.
Thank
Just
you
so
very
y'all know,
much.
if you play best ball, you're just donating to Adam's golf
That's
fund.
right.
So,
I was thinking if I do well, although those first 4 drafts I did, I had Aaron Donald in all of them.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Thank God AD retired when he did. Otherwise, I'd be financially ruined.
you'd be like the Tiger King. You would never financially recover from this.
Yeah. Anyway, I forgot where I was going to go before that.
So you took William Anderson Jr.
Okay, and then let's go.
Well, let's pause here and recap the
There we go.
First
Good.
round.
Give me
first
some time.
round and just kind of see where we're at, how things changed. It's, I mean, not really that much different. I mean, you look at
I mean,
Puka Nakua is obviously the one that jumped the highest. He was undrafted in our original draft.
you know what pissed me off so much
What
is that
pissed you off,
John was
Bobby?
the only person bidding me up on Puka in the draft. And I was like, John, if you don't stop it, I'm about to bid every single dollar that I have in here on Puka.
John, you could have drove him up to like a $30 million contract.
It was right at the time of the training camp to where like the hype was kind of building. All of a sudden, Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp had invited him to like the little breakfast or whatever. And I started seeing some tape where like every time Puka came off the field, Cooper Kupp would go straight to him and start talking to him. And I was like, all right,
It's
something's
over.
a little different here. Cooper Kupp hasn't been doing that much with Tutu Atwell. So I love you, John, but that sure pissed me off.
just pissed me right off, John.
Fifth
I
favorite
got a
Canadian. You just
bunch of-
dropped.
Puka Nakua shares, but yeah, no, I'm kicking myself more for just not going after it harder because he has a ridiculous production profile coming out of college too. Like he's among like literally like round 1 wide receivers. I think he's 90. I got him as 93rd percentile production profile since 2019, and I should have pushed harder. I chickened out, and I was being nice to Bob, and it'll never happen again.
Never happen again.
11 other people in the XFL had a chance to take him in the rookie draft, and they chose not to. So
That's true.
Hey,
I
that's
know.
on them too.
That's true.
It's on both of y'all.
Puka
I
is
had
the
some bids
biggest.
in there. I just couldn't.
Yeah.
I just didn't bid
Puka was the
enough.
biggest riser. Laporta jumped up from 209 to 104. Tank Dell from 312 to 106. Rashee Rice from 205 to 108. And then the rest of the guys were first rounders. Robinson, Gibbs, Addison, Smith and Jigba, A-Chain, Zay Flowers, Richardson, and Will Anderson. So does this feel about right, John, for the seal to be broken on IDP around 112 in a redraft?
I'm good with that. Yeah, especially Will Anderson, right? Like it might not be the case in every draft, but Will Anderson definitely earned it. I think he put a lot of encouraging stuff out there as a rookie. Obviously, won Defensive Rookie of the Year too. So, yeah, very happy with it. I'd be good there.
All right, there you go.
I agree. There, I think that may be the pick of the draft. Maybe the
I don't
best,
know.
A lot
biggest
of people
value of
are
the draft.
saying
It's what people are saying.
Yeah,
I've
there's
heard.
a lot of people
Canadians and Americans.
saying exactly
Streets
that.
are tough.
So,
Multiple countries.
all right, let's see. 201 here, boys. I just had it. Okay, Dalton Kincaid.
Oh, you monster.
There you go.
You freaking monster.
Feels like the pretty big drop off though. Oh no! Oh, there's some other ones there though. I can.
QJ's still
No, I'm
there.
fine. Let's do Dalton Kincaid.
If
Let's
you
go with
wanna
the double
back
tight
on it,
ends. I got the league cornered at tight end.
Congratulations on a onesie position cornering the market. Good for you.
Non-tight end premium.
Yes. Absolutely not.
Y'all are in trouble.
We should have mentioned this is a
Tight end
1
premium.
QB
Adam changes the rules
PPR
in the second.
start 11 offense.
I
and
admit it
defense.
is not. It is
Yeah,
definitely
it
not.
is. It is
But,
not tight end premium.
Still,
Could
be cool if it was.
You never know.
can you imagine?
Just think about it. All right, so we're sitting here at what is this? The
202.
202. And this is where Roshan Johnson went last year. Our rookie draft is typically like right after the NFL draft, usually within like a week or two.
Wow,
So,
Roshan went high.
yeah. I mean, he was getting a lot of buzz, landing with the Bears. So, okay.
I think that was me.
Was that you? Wow.
I think it was.
Freaking idiot.
Yeah, I know.
I know. Tell me about it. Okay, so you threw me for a loop, Addy. I had just Dalton Kincaid lined up perfectly there.
Starting to feel sick again, Josh. You better go inside.
Yeah, the spotlight's
You
getting
could grab
a little,
the other tight end, Michael Mayer.
Ooh,
There you go.
you're our movie guy.
I'm not that desperate.
That's right.
Michael Mayer? You mean Michael Myers?
Right.
Isn't that movies, Josh?
Still similar though, kind of.
Is that Austin Powers?
Kind of the
Yes,
same.
No, that's totally
You
different.
spell his name differently? The last name?
Michael Myers. versus-
Myers?
Yeah, it's Myers,
I'm
not
sorry.
Mayers.
Look, I'm not a movie guy. I'm not a movie guy.
You are a movie
I
guy.
knew it was
You used to
kind of close.
Is that
watch
the guy
Lord of
from
the Rings.
Halloween?
Yeah, that's like
I'll let y'all do your little jokey
Austin
jokes.
Powers or the Halloween thing.
Little cinema jokes.
The Halloween there's a lot of like Kentucky stuff in it, right?
Yeah. Well, the director,
Carpenter.
John Carpenter, I think is from Smiths Grove, Kentucky, which is where Bucky's is going to be.
where Buc-ee's is.
Maybe he'll be there for the grand opening.
Oh,
That would be tight.
Yeah, but don't let that scare you off, guys.
it's gonna be great. Brisket's fine.
Don't let that scare you off.
A lot of people just hovering over that
Brisket on the
plane
board.
flight.
God. Lord help us, folks. Lord help us. Okay.
We are going to be getting some 1-star reviews after this one,
Josh, we
boys.
can't vamp for you any longer.
I know. I'm going to go with, man, this is hard because CJ Stroud, I think, is in play here, but I already have a quarterback. See if Josh Downs can maybe slide
Load
a
up,
little
brother.
later in the second.
Load up. Corner that QB market, brother.
Order the QB. I mean, Quentin Johnston probably should be in consideration here, but he's not. I'm going Jaden Reed at the 202.
That's who I was thinking about.
Yeah. I like that a lot. I think Jordan Love is legit. I think this Packers team is going to be pretty darn good. Sorry to all the NFC North fans out there that aren't Packers fans, but I think this team's, I think it's a lot like the Texans in the NFC where it's young QB, team on the rise, a lot of really good young blue chip guys, and Jaden Reed's definitely up there as far as blue chip guys. So
No worries that Love could turn back into a pumpkin potentially.
I'm not worried about Love. No, if he going that route where he got to sit and learn and develop, I don't worry as much about him. Yeah, turning back into a pumpkin. I think he's gonna be all right.
League's got tape on him now, Josh.
That's true. That is true. You think CJ Stroud's gonna turn back into a pumpkin?
I think so. League's got tape on him now.
That's true. What happens?
And he doesn't have a brain, Josh. Remember?
That's right. What was it? The old P2
S2.
test?
Yeah.
S2
Yeah.
test.
Yeah.
Oh, S2 test. All right. So back over to Bob at 203. Where are you going here, Bob?
Well, I'm glad you did what you did, Josh, and you left C.J. Stroud for me.
There you go.
C.J. Stroud will be my quarterback for the
All right.
draft.
So from the 301 to the 203, we should mention, Jaden Reed jumped up from 208 to 202. So the two top QBs are off the board, and that leaves John with a couple back-to-back picks here at 204 and 205. So what you thinking, John?
Yeah, it's a little trickier here, but we are DT required league.
Yes, we are.
We are an IDP podcast over here, so we're going to bring
Correct.
back another IDP, Jalen Carter. I
Wow.
love
Right.
me some Jalen Carter.
Well done.
DT2 for me in Dynasty, just a ridiculous rookie year as well. I know you just look at the sacks, they were fine, 6 sacks, but 89 PFF grade, 5th, 85.9 pass rush grade, 6th, tied for 2nd in quick pressure rate, 9.9%, 17.7% pass rush win rate as well, which was 6th. Ridiculous numbers for his position as a rookie. I am going Jalen Carter here for sure.
Fletcher Cox gone.
Yep.
It's going to be a lot of 60 to 70% of snap percentages.
Is he your Dynasty DT one?
He might be 2. I think I
got
waffled back
Quinnen.
and forth. I think I put Quinnen back up there. I think I definitely had Jalen Carter there for
Day or two.
a stretch.
You flirted with it.
Yeah,
You
I think we
flirted
talked
with
about it on the show. But he's 2. I just took him. I took him in the 8th round of a IDP only best ball.
Well, and you just took
Yesterday.
Quinnen in the 3rd round.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Best ball number 8.
What a start!
So,
Nick
that-
Bosa, Roquan, Quinnen Williams. Rest of the
We
league
got to
can
get
pack it
John
in.
out of the. We got to get Adam out of these.
You
damn
got to get in
drafts.
these, John.
Yeah,
you
John,
got to
we gotta
get in
you
these.
in. We got to get.
I
Adam
know.
out.
I keep meaning to. I know. I gotta get in.
John's like never getting in.
He's not getting.
Yeah,
it.
he's not getting
He's
in.
out.
No, yeah.
No, no,
I do have to
yeah,
get in.
I probably won't.
He hates us. He's only doing this because we're paying him $100.
Yeah, exactly. We're giving him some Bucky's bites when he comes down here.
He's fine.
So, all right, John, you're back up at 205. You went with Jalen Carter at the 204. What you thinking here with your next pick?
Yes, the next one, it's probably between Josh Downs and Tajay Spears for me. Quentin Johnston maybe, but I don't know. I like Tajay Spears. I know they brought Tony Pollard in. I'm gonna go Tajay Spears. I like him. I think, PPR league as well. I think he's still gonna command some targets there as a receiving down back and less on the load for Pollard a little bit. I think he could still be effective. It is what it is at this point in rookie drafts. You're looking for guys that you can play in your flex at this point or starting IDPs. So I'm good with Tajay Spears still.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like drafters are pretty well split on Tajay Spears or Tony Pollard as sort of the lead running back there. But I think it could be just a true committee with, I would say probably Pollard leads the way, but I think Spears is still going to be pretty relevant. He's sort of like a discount Gibbs, because you do have David Montgomery siphoning away a lot of the value that we could potentially get. I mean, if Montgomery ever goes down, I think Gibbs can absolutely handle a full load, and I think the same for Tajay Spears if Pollard were to go down again. So I think that's a nice pick at 205.
Interesting team, interesting offense.
Yeah.
It's all depends on Will Levis, of course.
I think Will Levis can play, man. I think if they can get this guy an offensive line, I'm not saying he's going to be a top 12 quarterback, but could he be north of what Chris Wessling famously coined the Dalton line and be an above average starting quarterback? I think so. I really
poor
do.
man's Josh Allen.
Yeah, sure. Maybe a homeless
see it.
man's Josh Allen at this point in his career, but that's probably the ceiling.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley there now. That's fun.
DeAndre Hopkins, Treylon Burks, you got Pollard and Tajay Spears, Chigakonkwo. So it's like if we can get this guy an offensive line, I think we're cooking.
Just a tough ass division now.
Yeah.
But you got Zach Robinson there, right, as the new new offensive coordinator, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, because Callahan's the new head coach, right? So, I don't know. I wish they would have stuck with Tannehill as a Colts fan, because that does not scare me. But Levis,
Where'd Tanny go?
Tanny's still floating out there.
Nowhere yet.
Yeah, still floating. So, all right, Bobo,
Minnesota.
over to you at the 206.
Y'all have mentioned his name a couple times, and I'm gonna go ahead and go Josh Downs.
Okay.
I don't know that he has a long dynasty career, but if he can develop a little bit of rapport with Anthony Richardson, a lot of the routes and stuff that he runs is around the line of scrimmage. Seems like he creates really good separation, which I feel like he did at UNC when he was in college. He has 2 games of over 10 targets last season. He actually started kind of returning a couple punts and kicks later on towards the end of the year. And if they could get him integrated into that a little bit more, it would be even a little bit more fun. But I don't know. I don't know what the Colts do at wide receiver this offseason. I don't know if they add somebody. I'm not so sure the whole Alec Pierce experiment is working out. So I don't know. I like Josh Downs. I think he is better than what I thought he was going to be coming into the NFL. But here at the back end of the second, I'm okay throwing a dart on him.
Yeah, I think, who was it? The Underdog guys were doing a revised mock draft today, post-free agency mock draft, and they were discussing possibly Brian Thomas Jr. for the Colts at 15.
Yeah.
I think in both of the ones I've watched recently, it's been Quinyon Mitchell, the cornerback from Toledo there, which, look, I love as well.
Yeah.
I think it makes a lot of sense. Chris Ballard loves freaky athletes. This
Yeah.
guy's like a 99th percentile RAS or a kind of a speed score guy. So I could see Chris Ballard wanting to take a swing on a guy like that, especially at a position of need. But I commented on the video, like, we need one more receiver. So I love the idea of potentially going offense there at 15 rather than like a Cooper DeJean or a Quinyon Mitchell. So
Who'd y'all get, though? I mean, with the big 3 are off, Who would you
I
want?
think Brian Thomas Jr. would be a great,
It'd be fun.
great fit there.
What was the Legarius Sneed smoke? Was there any truth to that?
Yeah, it was a whole lot of like low-level insiders and
gotcha.
Reddit fire on whether or not this was actually happening.
Did Ballard actually draft Legarius? I can't
Was he
remember.
still there? I don't think so. He's been our GM for a long time.
Okay.
So I think he was probably an indie at that point. So, all right, I'm on the board at 207, and man, this is tough because QJ is still sitting there on the board. He is the only wide receiver in Los Angeles right now,
Like Josh Palmer.
Yep.
but I am
Guyton.
going to go with Zach Charbonnet. Running back, Seattle. I love Kenneth Walker. I think he's a very good running back, but I think Charbonnet is very good as well. So give me Charbonnet, who was the 201 there at the 207. So Addy leaves you 208, 209 to take Tommy DeVito at the 208.
With him Spoon.
With him, Spoon.
Wow.
All right. Wow, look at you, Addy. Let's see. I got to find him. He was all the
That's
way
a power
down
player
here.
there.
It is. It's just a alpha establishing dominance.
Yeah.
We know that.
That's right. CB1.
Yeah, there he
CB1,
is.
folks.
He was a UDFA. He's your DB4, is that right? No, where is he?
DB4 and, yeah, best ball.
Okay. There you go.
DB5, maybe. I think I might have branch 4.
John, what do you think about that? What do you think about having, just as far as DB ranks, with him Spoon?
And of course, this is Big 3 scoring.
Yes,
So
Yeah.
big play.
4 points for every PD, you know. Sacks are weighted heavy. Tackles not so much. But, Witham Spoon just stuffs the stat sheet.
Yeah, so he was really good last year. Obviously, I think DB wise, it's probably between him and Brian Branch for me in this receiver or in this rookie class. So I don't mind him. I don't mind him being the first DB off the board. And yeah, you're taking shots here, right? You're taking shots with other guys. At least Witherspoon, more of a kind of a guaranteed starter for you, at least in your fantasy lineup every week. Where the rest of these guys probably filling out bench, obviously, more valuable positions. But at the same time, if you want starters, you take a shot.
Yeah, what's nice about Witherspoon is you can plug him directly into your starting lineup. And a lot of these guys, I mean, we're getting to that point in the draft where it's like, how many lineups are you sticking, Spears, Downs, Charbonnet into? Maybe, I guess, depending on the depth of the league, but Witherspoon slots right in. That's the nice thing about going IDP.
For the next 4 years.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Same thing with Jalen Carter. I think he's in maybe not an auto start, but pretty damn close in 2024.
And I think he's going to thrive there with Mike McDonald coming over. I think he's going to continue to play that slot role there. The question is, will he hold up? Because he is. It's you got to be physical at that position, and he is a little undersized, so that's really the only question mark. But I mean, homie's a dog.
He is a
We love
dog.
him.
He's on the dog Mount Rushmore, especially for DBs.
Certainly is. So yeah, that's an easy one for me. And then I'm going to go. Still some solid talent though, right here. Jack Campbell, Kendre Miller, Michael Myers is still out
Michael
there.
Myers. The killer from the Halloween franchise still on the board, folks.
I think I'm gonna go with OQJ though.
Okay.
We're gonna bet
Finally show him some
that
love.
him being the only person in the room is gonna get him a ton of targets next year. And then we're probably gonna sell him.
Can't wait till they draft 2 wide receivers in the first round.
That's probably yeah. That is probably
They're
Yeah.
definitely drafting wide receiver.
Especially there. What are they at 5?
yeah. Seeing a lot of neighbors get mocked to him. Rome get mocked to him.
Yep.
So
Very juicy.
Brock Bowers was getting mocked to him. That's a little high though for him.
Yeah, I
Maybe they
think so.
trade back. Like we could see that happening, but I would love if those rumors are true about them. The Chargers trading Herbert to Minnesota.
What are we doing? Like,
You
what are we
seen that
doing?
on Twitter?
God, people are so bored this time
So
of
and
year.
that way Harbaugh can draft McCarthy. Seriously, that's
Can
the whole
draft
thing.
McCarthy.
Holy.
Oh my God.
The only reason
Please
he came
happen.
to the NFL.
Please happen.
Yeah,
that's
Want
it.
Jay Herb.
Harbaugh's going to take Blake Corum at 5 overall.
Gosh.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Jefferson's going
Twitter.
for
Like, I think
3,000
Daniel
yards.
Jeremiah's head would explode if that happens.
Blake Corum's definitely going there though, right?
Yes. Don't they
Yeah,
have
it
a?
has to be,
Do
right?
they have a later pick now?
I think so. Yeah.
because of the trade with the Vikings, right?
I got my fingers crossed that Clicky Hudson's going to land there. Former Michigan alum.
That would be nice. They brought back
Denzel
Denzel
Perryman.
Perryman. Yeah,
We'll talk about that, or we already talked about that.
We
Sorry.
already did talk
little
about
peek
that.
behind the
Yeah,
curtain.
getting to know how the sausage is made. All right, so we are here at 210, and let's do. Oh man, I'm thinking about Jack Campbell just because I do think brighter days ahead for Jack Campbell.
Yep.
I'm thinking maybe Ivan Pace. John, you know that Blake Cashman is cash money there. Don't even front. Yeah. Let's see here. Michael Mayer, possibly. God, I hate that they might be rolling out Gardner Minshew. I just had to live through that. And it was fine because he was our backup. But if that's your answer at quarterback for the entire season,
Hey, he can sling it.
why did you give Christian Wilkins like $110 million if you're going to roll with Gardner Minshew?
Trey Tucker.
Trey Tucker. Okay. So, oh man, because you got me thinking Brian Branch now.
Yeah.
I'm going Brian Branch. I just think, again, plug and play starter. Brian Branch is not coming out of your lineup. Maybe a little rich, but especially in CB required leagues, give me a starter here at 210.
That's right, because he will remain a CB in RS. Like in our league, we base it off of
Alignment.
PFF alignment.
Yep.
And so Brian Branch is actually gonna continue to be a cornerback in there because he played mainly slot last year. Like 90% of his snaps were at slot, maybe more than that.
Is that right, John?
Yeah. He was mostly slot.
There you go. All right. So QJ and then Branch go at 209, 210.
Damn, 406 in last year's draft. What a value.
What a value. That shows if you can hit on one of those like safety DBs.
Yeah.
Like those typically go
Usually
in
good
like
picks.
the
I mean, honestly,
late third, fourth. It's a huge value because you see how these guys jump.
could be a Tyler Nubin this year.
Tyler Nubin. All right, Bob, back to you at 211.
Get you,
What you
Nubin.
thinking?
So I'm gonna go to the IDP well. I'm gonna
Okay.
get away from offense, and I'm not taking Ivan Pace. I'm gonna take defensive tackle out of Tampa Bay, Kalijah Cansey.
Okay.
Cansey, I'm kind of hot in the pants for a little bit, especially since the AD retirement. We've kind of had to shift gears in a couple leagues and try to plan for the future. And
It's been a bad week for Bob.
you know, if you got to replace somebody, if you got to replace Aaron Donald, you might as well replace him with the guy who was comped to Aaron Donald coming out of college. And I
Passing
mean,
up the
no
torch.
kidding. Kalijah Cansey, 4 sacks on the season. I think he had a sack and a half in the postseason. Was playing 60 to 70% snaps a lot of that time. I like Cansey a lot. I really, really do. I think Cansey could enter that top 7, top 8 DT kind of conversation here in 2024. I like the way he plays. I don't know, man. I'm a Cansey guy.
Hey, you don't got to convince me. He is my DT6 in Dynasty.
Yeah, that feels right. That's just some potentially like, I mean, how often do you see 2 top 5 defensive tackles for IDP come out of the same class?
And that's not mentioning Kobe Turner.
Yeah, Kobe
Thank you,
Turner. We'll
John.
see what Brian Brissy turns into in New Orleans. Just some really good defensive tackle.
Oh, life's about to get a lot harder for old Kobe Turner. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a lot more pressure
Your man
on
Byron
him.
Young.
Byron Young.
That's right.
They got to bring back Michael Hoyt now. Michael Hoyt.
They're going to put him inside, I heard.
Adam's just doing the whip sound now. All right, John, take us home for the second round with the 212.
All right, let's go. I think everybody that I wanted is pretty much gone here. Yeah, Jaden Reed's gone, right? All right, you know what? Let's take a shot on Jack Campbell.
Okay.
Obviously, you know, last year we got stuck behind Anzalone. We'll probably still be stuck behind Anzalone, but God, there's only so long, right, that they could stick with him as the full-time starter. I don't know. I mean,
I heard they're talking extension.
yeah, I know. This is,
Probably will.
They're just gonna lock him up for life. He's the retired
Good
jersey
hair.
in the Ring of Honor.
Good. Hey.
Yeah, It's yeah, I'll go Jack Campbell. I got to bet on him getting a chance here in the near future. Whether it's this year or not, I don't know, but I always like Jack Campbell as a prospect, and I think he could be a nice fit once he gets that starting job and be productive. So yeah.
Okay, so let's recap here. Dalton Kincaid, Jaden Reed, CJ Stroud, Jalen Carter, Tyjae Spears, Josh Downs, Zach Charbonnet, Devon Witham Spoon, Quentin Johnston, Brian Branch, Kalijah Cansey, and Jack Campbell. So big risers from this round were, of course, Devon Witherspoon, UDFA in our draft jumping up to 208, Brian Branch 406 to 210, and Kalijah Cansey 504 to 211. And then at the start of the round, we also had CJ Stroud going from 301 to 203, and Jalen Carter going from 302 to 204. So couple big time risers in that round, just like the first round. John, you were up again at the 301. Take it away to kick off the third round.
Yeah, I'm up again. I'm trying to think if I should go with my head here and take a smart pick, or if I go for the brand, I'm going to draft Ivan Pace at 301 here.
Love it.
We love that.
Yeah, I'm still a believer. I think he's going to overcome. Maybe not right away, but again, Blake Cashman, he's been Blake Glassman for most of his career. He's
true.
Been unable to stay on the field. Ivan Pace is going to get his opportunities again, and just so damn productive and looks so good when he's on the field. So, yeah, I'm going to continue to rock the Ivan Pace train here.
I mean, he does have
Blake Glassman.
Blake Glassman, yeah.
Already bitter. Already just upset about
You should have just gone with Blake Glassman and just like break glass in
great.
case of
There you go.
emergency. There you go. That
guys.
one's free, John. You can put that on the next.
Man.
Yeah, break Glassman.
Break
All right. 301 goes Ivan Pace Jr. I mean, we knew John was going to do that at some point, but I don't think it's a crazy pick.
No, it's fine.
At this point in the draft. Maybe a little crazy, but that's okay. That's what we like. We like chaos.
There was
okay,
Sorry, I was just
go
gonna, there was definitely a smarter pick there, but I left it.
You got to go with the heart.
Ivan Pace. Yeah, I didn't want to get sniped on Ivan Pace, so I had to get him.
Gotta get your guys.
Who was that?
Everybody. All those idiots
That's
out there.
Adam's impersonation of
advice.
everybody.
You gotta get your. This is about having fun. Shut up.
I'm definitely clipping that one. That's a lot of fun. Thank you, Adam.
That's the intro.
All right, Bob, over to you for 302. Who you
Yeah,
got?
my 302 is going to be the movie man himself, Michael Mayer.
You guys are blowing my brains out with
He's
these
fallen
tight end
far
picks.
enough, and even if it is Gardner Minshew, yeah, maybe it's only that for a year. It does sound like Vegas and Pierce want to get it right at the position. As far as quarterback, I'm not so sure that Minshew is what they're really going to roll out. I think there's been a couple little, off-season tidbits about they've kind of been interested in maybe moving up, maybe moving up for a quarterback. Even if they do roll out Minshew, they're going to be bad this year. They can maybe get a quarterback next year, but I don't know. I think Meyer has some upside. We'll see. Here in the third, I'm fine with it.
I think the Raiders are going quarterback in the draft. I just have a gut feeling that they are. Everyone's, rightly assuming that Gardner Minshew is the starter as of now. I think he's probably ahead of Aiden O'Connell in the pecking order if you had to, start the season tomorrow. But that's just that in my mind. That is premium backup money because I think, and possibly bridge quarterback money. Right, because maybe Gardner Minshew is your plan for the first 6 games of the season. And then you roll Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy, one of these kind of later kind of hyped up quarterbacks like a Bo Nix or somebody out there, maybe halfway into the year to see what you got. But I think they're going quarterback. I don't think Gardner Minshew precludes you from taking a quarterback. I think with the new regime there and Antonio Pierce, I don't think they're going to roll with the long-haired, gummy-eating, taking 3 sacks from Kyle Hamilton quarterback all season. So I am between a couple of guys here. Kendre Miller, who was the original 109, and Marvin Mims. And I am, let's see, how many wide receivers have I taken at this point? Not a lot. Looks like I took Jaden Reed. I think that may be my only receiver at this point. So let's go Marvin Mims. The original 303 sticks right in there at the 303. And we roll forward onto Addy at the 304. Addy, what you thinking, baby?
Boy, it's getting down into it, aren't we?
Starting to thin out just a wee bit.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. Let's go with Kendre Miller here.
Okay.
Feels like some good value here at the 304. Got to figure that his time is coming eventually with AK. I think being 29 now, figure AK probably has this year, but Kendre Miller should get his opportunity. I think definitely more opportunity in year 2. So I'm fine with him there. And then I guess let's go. This is tough. There's a lot of these guys like in the same range, like Tyree Wilson, Will McDonald.
Yeah. The linebackers are kind of stinky at this point.
Right. Drew Sanders, we thought that was going to be somebody that was going to be a nice asset for us in Dynasty, but it sounds like he's going to be playing on the edge now.
So we got another Zaven Collins situation.
Yep. Without the draft capital.
Yep.
Let's go with Tyree Wilson.
Okay.
Let's bet.
You slotted him right in from where you took him in XFFL, 305.
Nice.
305 to 305.
We're just betting that he was not right. He missed all of training camp, but he was
forced into action because Chandler
Right.
Jones lost his mind.
right. But I think he showed improvement as the year went on. I think the PFF numbers also show that. So, it also sounds like Max Crosby is taking him under his wing. He's been.
I thought you were going to say Max Crosby is taking control of the organization, and I was going to say I agree.
He is. I
mean,
think.
basically getting Antonio Pierce hired, or you have to trade me.
Right.
That was a flex this offseason.
Have you noticed like some of the pictures that Max Crosby posts? They're like mafia looking pictures.
I have not, but
like he's always smoking cigars and he's like dressed up and he's talking about family and stuff in the captions.
he's talking about family.
And no one's smiling. No one's smiling.
That does sound reminiscent of like mafioso kind of vibes.
I mean, whatever.
Whatever.
Just wish he wouldn't do it. I don't like that stuff.
I don't like that stuff. We don't want him to be mob connected, John.
Yeah, he's just quoting the Fast and the Furious movies, I think.
Pretty much.
I've got family.
Yeah.
I've got
It
family.
really is.
John, what did the PFF numbies say about Alvin Kamara? He feels like one of those guys who maybe quietly, is he washed at this point? I mean, 29-year-old running back. Does he still have juice left? What do we think there?
Yeah, like he's one of those guys, like I think even starting in, I think it was 2022 or maybe 2021, right? He started to just become less efficient as a runner. Like he's the guy that gets a ton of volume, right? So that's the main thing with him. And the receiving down work has been his key. But as a runner, he's definitely starting to decline. He hasn't been nearly as effective or close to the rest of the league in comparison. So yeah, he's getting there. He's getting up there in age. He's what is he now? 28. He's going to be 29 at the start of the season. So he's reached that running back age cliff, right? So he's started to decline for sure.
Yeah, Kendre Miller could be a little sneaky pick there, Addy. I like it. Back up to me, though, at the 306. And I'm glad this guy is still on the board. Kind of buried down there in the 4th round. We're going Trenton Simpson, the 306. From the 409 to the 306, linebacker there in Baltimore. John, it seems like to me this guy is going to slot right into Patrick Queen's role with Queen now in Pittsburgh. Do you feel any differently about the situation?
Maybe. I'm not totally convinced. I think, we saw them kind of lean on Malik Harrison to the end of last year, and then they brought Malik Harrison back. So it might be Trenton Simpson's job, but I don't think it's like a guarantee. I think there's still concern there, even though the depth chart doesn't look scary. The team bringing back Malik Harrison is the only thing that kind of sticks with me. And just because they kind of went to him first last year. And again, these NFL teams, they value experience, right? Playing experience in the NFL. So Harrison's been around a little bit longer in that system. that's the only thing with me. I like Trenton Simpson. I want him to be the guy, but I don't know. It feels like there's going to be at least more of a competition there.
All right, so John hates it. That's Canadian for awful pick. But I have hope for Trenton Simpson. I do agree, but I think just they drafted this guy for a reason. I think he's the replacement plan for Queen. Queen is gone, so I think it could be one of those training camp battle type situations, and I'll bet on potentially getting the Patrick Queen replacement. And if it doesn't work out, I'll just hold him for potentially 2025 and see if this guy can get the job at that point. So let's go with Simpson there, and Bobo, back over to you at the 307.
Okay. The 307 here is interesting because there are still some second year edges with some names to them. There's some UDFAs here who are interesting as well. I'm going to go with a guy here that I kind of like. I don't know if you have him here, Josh, but I'm going to go with old Hembig.
Okay.
Herbig showed enough for me last season that, I don't know that he ever gets a starting role just because J.J. Watt there in front of him. Alex Highsmith, I believe, got an extension early last offseason. But as we know, T.J. Watt's been, hurt over the last couple of years from time to time. Herbig has shown that he can walk into that starting role and put some production up for us. So here in the third round, I'm looking for guys like Hembig, and he feels comfortable here. So we'll go with it.
Yeah, and I think either way, you can expect his role to increase.
Yeah.
No matter what. Because, I thought that he was impressive whenever he did get a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what do you think, John? Is that what did you see from Herbig in his rookie year? I think we saw some nice flashes, obviously 2 entrenched starters there in front of him. But if nothing else, does he slot in if Highsmith or TJ Watt gets injured?
Yeah, I think he's the next man up, right? And the team obviously relied super heavily on on TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith, and they just have the past few years, right? But like you guys mentioned, the Watt specifically has had injury problems. So yeah, Herbig played well for sure while he was in there. He had a really great production profile coming out of college as well, or at least analytic profile. As far as his pass rush grades and everything. And even though he was, again, undersized guy, they were talking about him potentially playing off-ball linebacker, but just continued to look good in the NFL. So I like it for sure.
Okay, so there we go. And it is back over to you, John, for 308 and 309. So what you thinking here?
I'm back up. Let's see. Let's go. You know what? Let's take a couple running backs here. I'm gonna take some swings, guys that could be potential handcuffs for in season when if starters go down, we could plug these guys into lineups. I think there's some value there in Roshan Johnson and Tank Bigsby both. Obviously, they didn't get a ton of opportunity, but DeAndre Swift in Chicago, he's also had some injury issues. You got Khalil Herbert there, so it could still end up being a mess. But I liked what we saw from Roshan Johnson, at least as a rookie in a limited role. And then Tank Bigsby just didn't get the opportunity. Travis Etienne obviously played every game and was a volume monster last year. But in the case that he goes down, I think there'll be a lot more value with Tank Bigsby. So at this point in the draft, that's where I'd be happy to take some value there.
All right, couple running backs go off the board, Bobo. Leaving you with I believe, what are we at now? 310.
So much similar to my last pick, I'm going to go with with an edge here that was undrafted in Tuli Tuipulotu.
Look at you, Bobo. Nailed it.
I really like Tuli. I really like what he showed us last year. I was really hoping that with the Chargers cap situation that we were going to see one of Khalil Mack or Joey Bosa released, traded, so that my boy Tuli could get some more PT. I don't know that that's going to be the case, but if it's not this year, I feel like it's going to be pretty soon that they move on from both of those guys. And Tuli is much like Hembig in that he showed us enough. He showed us enough pop and showed us enough juice that we're all scared to death as to what that noise was. So Tuli, we hear you. I'll put you in the starting lineup.
That was Tuli coming through. Tuli, was that you? All right, so
And we have Thule on the other line here. Thule,
welcome in.
Come on
I should have
in.
gone way earlier. What the guys?
Yeah, that you mispronounced my name horribly. Where are you guys from? Oh, Kentucky. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so Roshan Johnson, Tank Bigsby, Tuli Tuipulotu go off the board. I am going to bounce back to running back.
311. Come original, Josh.
I'm going to go with Chase Brown. 310. I do think Zach Moss is a pretty good running back, and I think he is going to be the primary back there in Cincinnati. But I think Chase Brown, talk about handcuffs, could be in for an increased role with Joe Mixon out the door.
A Canadian.
There you go. Even more reason to like that. So, all right, Chase Brown.
Did that bump John further down? Is John
he
now
might be
5?
He might be 6 because Bobby already bopped him down one.
Oh, that's right.
So he's at 6 now.
Dang.
Slowly
see
sinking
it.
towards the end
Hate
of the
to see
first
it.
round. So, all right,
Hope
Chase
no one
Brown.
drafts Sidney Brown.
Yeah,
Isn't
Yeah.
he Canadian too?
he is Canadian.
He
isn't
is.
he?
Wow.
7 could be in your future, big dog.
Yeah, let's see if you make it.
They're brothers, right?
Are they brothers? That's cool.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know
They're
that.
brothers, yeah.
All right, they'd have to be
They
twins,
have to be, yeah.
right?
I mean, if they're both from Canada, they have to be.
Yeah, they have to be twins, right?
What? Why do they both have to be brothers?
Brothers at heart, Canadian brothers.
Are they twins?
Yeah.
Let's look
Because
it
it,
up.
would be both come in the draft class at the
Siamese.
same
From
time.
Quebec.
Siamese
twins.
conjoined
Yeah.
twins. They like chopped them in half at the combine.
They are,
Nope. Still
yeah,
together.
drawing
Still-
strength from.
He's reading
Oh,
some
I don't
article
know what
from
this
like
means.
a brothers.com.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what it says. So the first thing that came up was drawing strength from family and supporters in 2 countries: Illinois twins Chase and Sidney Brown.
Okay,
What's an
so they
Illinois
are.
twin? But they're I know Sidney
they
Brown's
played at
Canadian, so
Illinois.
they
Played in
are-
Illinois, right?
Yeah.
They
Oh,
played in
okay, that's
Illinois.
why. You're right. That's right. Okay.
He's like,
Or
is
do you-
that a
are you
term?
I
on,
thought that was like a different version of Siamese twins. Is it Illinois twins?
I think Siamese twins may be offensive now. I don't know.
I don't know.
Is it really?
I don't know. Sorry if we offended anybody, but where'd you get that info? Was that on
no.
Fantasy Bros?
Fantasy
That
Bros.
was on Google's. I binged it. What's fantasy?
Bing.
It's like Fantasy Pros, but it's brothers, John.
This is brothers only.
It's only brothers. There's
Brother
like
content.
there's the Watt Bros. There's the Mosa Bros.
I was late to it. Yeah.
There's not a lot of content.
Not a
out
lot
there.
going on.
It's we're struggling for content.
They're way overstaffed though. They've got like 12 people writing about the same 6 guys.
Yeah, we are running out of money
Running
fast.
out of money fast. All right, so let's get the train back on the track here, Addy, and wrap up the 3rd round, 312. Who you going with here?
All right, let's go with someone I was talking about the last time I was up, Will McDonald.
Okay.
I think we're about to see Will McDonald break out. Should have much more opportunity. We know about Bryce Huff leaving town. Carl Lawson's out of there. Yeah, I'm expecting Will McDonald to ball out. And I thought he showed some flashes last year.
Who do you think the 2 starters are there this year? Him and Clemens?
No, him and Jermaine Johnson.
Jermaine Johnson. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
him and
forget Jermaine.
Johnson, and well, I imagine we'll see a healthy amount of John's boy, Franklin Myers.
Yep.
Gosh, that's right.
So that'll be the 3. It'll be those 3, I think.
Carl Lawson was cut, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you make of that D-line rotation now with Lawson and Bryce Huff out the door, John?
At least clears things up a little bit, right? Like usually one of those guys would be like a healthy and active. It was usually Carl Lawson last year, but it at least clears up some space, right? So Will McDonald, Jermaine Johnson. We saw Jermaine Johnson, had a slow start in his rookie year, and then they worked him into a bigger role. I think the same thing could happen here for Will McDonald for sure in year 2.
We kind of need some clarity there because there wasn't really a guy there that you could, plug in every week.
We're about to get it.
Yeah.
Johnson was pretty solid. I think he finished
was
inside like
damn
the top
good.
He was
15 edges by
Yeah.
Big 3
Wow.
scoring.
I think
So
he was averaged 13.1 points per
yeah,
game.
he was
last
a
year.
lot better than I think people were anticipating in his
Yep.
2nd year. So, all right, 311, Chase Brown, and then we had at the 312 McDonald. So let's recap here. On the 3rd round, we went with Ivan Pace Jr., Michael Mayer, Marvin Mims, Kendra Miller. Who is this Wilson character? Tyree Wilson, Trenton Simpson, Nick Hembig, Herbig, Roshan Johnson, Tank Bigsby, Tuli Pelotu, Chase Brown, and Will McDonald. This didn't have as many kind of risers. We actually saw some fallers here. Kendre Miller was 109, going at the 304. Roshan Johnson and Tank Bigsby were second-round picks now at near the end of the third. Will McDonald jumped up from 405 to 312. Thule and Nick Herbig were both UDFAs that jumped up into the third round. So interesting round for sure. A lot of IDP, but this is where I think you're going to start to see more and more of that. So, Addy, take us away here at the 401.
Okay, I guess I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals wide receiver 1, Michael Wilson.
Oh, Lord. It's
For now.
yeah,
For now.
pretty grim.
They're
there
definitely
in
going to bring
Arizona.
in all the mocks have been saying Marvin Harrison Jr. for months. But even if that doesn't work out, you imagine they're going to get one of the big three. I'm not talking about
I was
us.
going to say they get one of us.
Adam,
so one of us
Josh, or
gets
Bobby.
traded.
Time.
Definitely want Adam. He's got that dog in him.
Time.
Got a couple dogs.
But I thought Mike Wilson was good. He's a fine wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 in the offense.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it here.
Yeah, what do you think? How do we feel about Kyler? I feel
Feel
like
good, man. I think Kyler's underrated. I love Kyler.
I'm a Kyler guy.
Yeah, I think he's pretty solid.
He's
I think we're
better
going to
than
see obviously a better year than what we saw last year, right? Get him some better weapons.
Yeah,
Yeah, not coming
healthy
off the
year
ACL.
after the ACL.
Yep.
Yep, I agree. I think they stick with Kyler. I don't think you see a whole lot of movement there at quarterback. I think you got your guy.
But I mean, that is there's not a lot of weapons there. You know, Rondell
Hollywood's
Moore's
gone.
gone now too.
Trey
I mean, it's-
McBride, baby.
That's right.
It's true.
And Dortch. Greg Dortch.
Is Trey McBride now the best offensive piece as far as dynasty goes for the Arizona Cardinals, or is Kyler probably still more
I
prized?
mean, in super flex, it's Kyler, of course, but I mean, yeah, I think in like one QB,
McBride.
McBride.
Yep.
yeah, I would agree. So, okay, I am up here at the 402, and I'm looking at some of these guys that are still on the board from earlier rounds. I mean, Bryce Young is still out there, 207. John, how are we feeling about Bryce Young? Are you just like, no thank you, or still a glimmer of hope for him?
No, thank you. Right? Like it was bad last year. It wasn't good at all. Like that offense was pretty rough. Adam Thielen was like the top target. Right? At least they brought in some guys now maybe to help. Obviously traded for Deontay Johnson. Bryce Young, I'm willing to give him another year for sure. I think I was considering him a couple times here, but I'd be fine with him in this range for sure.
Okay. So I'm not going to go that route. Jalen Hyatt's also kind of interesting because I think there's been a lot of rumors linking the New York Giants to McCarthy, one of the quarterbacks, if Drake May or Jane Daniels slips. But I'm going to go back to the Packers and go with Luke Musgrave. Get me a tight end. So let's go with Musgrave there at 402. Originally the 308 is back over to Bob for 403.
Yeah, so 403 here. Oh boy.
There's a lot of like pretty decent edge rushers still on the board.
I'm not going to take an edge rusher here. I'm going to take my original heartthrob. I'm going to take Deion Henley.
Okay.
I'm going to hope that year 2 here for Henley. I'm going to hope that maybe this new regime, even though they did just bring in Perryman, I'm going to hope that Deion sees a little bit more PT than he did in his rookie year. I'm still optimistic about Henley. I think that maybe he's just a young linebacker, and we don't need to overvalue these guys too much, as we have here tonight. I think we ranked him a whole lot better the last year or two than we have before. There's just that rookie linebacker is just really difficult.
We're cooling on that.
As I came
Yeah.
out with mock 2.0 today, and I think I had Cooper and freaking Peyton Wilson at the back of the second, but they feel a little bit different. Peyton Wilson looks like a freak. And then I don't know how y'all feel about Edgerrin Cooper. Maybe I'm doing the same thing that I
Falling right back into the
Falling.
whiskey.
Yeah, Edric, he scares me a little bit. He's like that type that we've fallen in love with.
yeah.
How do you think that Chargers linebacker core shakes out now, John? At least as it stands.
Edric's country, though.
Sure, absolutely. And Leggett.
Gosh.
with both
My guy.
Eric Kendricks and Kenneth Murray on new teams, Deion Henley, Denzel Perryman. How do you see that shaking out?
Yeah, I mean, I think Perriman bringing in definitely probably gives. Well, definitely probably. I think he's probably the favorite for me of the group. It's really nobody, right? Like I think Henley should get a shot. So I think he's got more potential than Nick Neiman or Troy Dye. So I don't know why we wouldn't take a shot on him at this point. But I mean, Perriman feels like he'd be locked in compared to the rest of the group for sure. So if there's room for a second linebacker there with the Chargers, then yeah, Henley, I would bet on him for sure.
Yeah, it seems like Perryman also break glass in case of emergency type of linebacker. Not the healthiest guy in the world. So I think Henley is a very good upside play there, Bobo. So I like it. 404, 405, John. Getting into the middle of the fourth now. Still some good IDP talent left on the board. So what you thinking here?
So yeah, it's interesting. And one of my picks is going to be Miles Murphy, edge for the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm a Miles Murphy fan. I really liked him coming out. I think I had him as edge 1, edge 2 behind Will Anderson, that is. And yeah, didn't get the opportunity in Cincinnati in year 1, but man, Sam Hubbard has been the definition of mid as a pass rusher. I think his time is coming to an end there. I think there's going to be a place for Miles Murphy to move into the starting lineup sooner rather than later.
Okay, so Miles Murphy there at the 404, originally 306, so some nice value there, John. Who is your second pick at the 405?
Yeah, 405. God, I wanted to. It's either. Oh God. It's either Kobe Turner or Bryce Young for me, I think. Let's go Kobe Turner. I'm going to go with, again, DT required leagues. I'm going to assume that I don't have one of the top defensive tackles, and I'm going to have now Jalen Carter and Kobe Turner.
There you go. Can't take the 5'9" quarterback, huh, John?
I know. I'm fine with it. I won't get into it, but yeah.
one QB, it's going to be hard for me to
be
too hyped up about Byron.
Yeah.
Bryce Young.
Yeah. It's
a lot of B Youngs in this draft.
Too many B Youngs. Let's be honest. I wish I could be young again, but
no kidding.
a lot of B Youngs in this draft. Bob, back to you. 406.
Yeah.
We are old.
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave, but we have to do another recording after this, so you get to stay for now.
Man, this is a really gross spot, is it not?
DeMarvion overshowed.
Part of me wants to take Byron Young here. I'm just a little skeptical. I'm a little worried about what life after Aaron Donald is going to look like for that defensive line there. So I'm going to take my guy that I originally drafted in the XFL just for the upside alone. I'm going to take Jalen Hyatt.
Okay.
Maybe there's something I missed this offseason or this last season that maybe Hyatt can figure it out. I think I have more faith in Hyatt and less faith in the freaking Giants is what it boils down to. So I don't know. Maybe something changes there, but I think Hyatt's still a talented wide receiver. Honestly, don't even think that, like, if the Giants draft Odunze, if the Giants draft Brian Thomas, that sucks. I mean, like, that's a terrible landing spot.
Because you've got Daniel Jones or Drew Lock.
I mean, who's the last relevant Giants wide receiver outside of OBJ's rookie year? You know, I mean, there's really been nobody. Just a bunch of
Kenny
mid-years
Galt.
from
Never mind.
yeah.
Oh, Kenny.
Sterling Shepard. Just a bunch of those. You know, what was the UK guy that went there? Wandale Robinson.
Yeah.
They have just a ton of slot guys.
Hodgins.
Did they just sign him?
He had a moment like a couple years ago.
But I'm saying, no, what's the guy from Buffalo?
Isaiah McKenzie.
Just signed there.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, why
Poor
not?
Isaiah
We need
McKenzie.
another 5'11"
They had about
slot
30
guy.
slot receivers
Yeah,
last year.
yeah.
Paris Campbell's gone now.
Makes
The
zero
all
sense.
slot offense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways,
Not great.
not great, Bob.
All right, so we're
Darren
here.
Waller's.
Yeah, he might retire.
Did he retire? Okay, yeah.
He's thinking about it.
If you're
out
thinking about
Bellinger.
it this deep into March, brother, you are retired. Just turn in the
Yeah,
paperwork, man. You got to have these like soul-searching conversations like February 15th. We're cruising towards April, brother.
Where are you going here, Joshy?
So I'm thinking I'm torn between a couple of edge rushers. So, John, weigh in here on who are you more optimistic about for 2024? I think there's one guy that clearly has maybe more opportunity, especially with the recent free agency moves. But I think there's another guy who could have an opportunity as well if the team gets its way. I'm looking Nolan Smith and Yaya Diaby. How do you weigh those guys for 2024, John?
For 2024, yeah, for 2024, probably Diaby. Just again, based on opportunity, the Eagles' edge group again just continues to be stacked, right? So the opportunity for Nolan Smith is going to be a little bit harder to come by, but I mean, I think he could be a good best ball guy. But I think just for season long kind of redraft, probably Diaby, just because they're probably going to have no choice but to play him for 900 snaps or so.
Yeah, that's kind of my thinking, especially with Shaq Barrett gone now, and Joe Tryon Shoyinka is the other guy. So
Stinka.
Yep, big old stinker. We're going with Yaya Diaby, undrafted free agent in our draft, now moves into the 407. Thank you very much. We'll move on to Addy for 408 and 409. Take it away, Addy.
Okay, I'm going to continue going edge rusher here. Corner in the market. Lucas Van Ness.
Okay.
There we go.
I thought he was impressive. They gave him more opportunity as the year wound down, so you always like to see that. Now it may be tough for him getting snaps because that's a talented team, good rotation. You already have Rashawn Gary, who should be back fully healthy next year, a year removed from the ACL injury. Preston Smith is pretty underrated at this point. I think he's going to get 50 to 60% of the snaps. So Van Ness probably is going to be in that, somewhere between 45 to 60, I'd say. But yeah, I mean, he had a great profile athletically, and production wasn't there. But yeah, I feel good about him. I think we could see him have a 10-sack season at some point over the next 2-3 years.
Yeah, 3 sacks over the last 6 games for Van Ness, and honestly on a pretty low snap percentage. The highest he really got to last year, he got to 49% in week 4, but most of the latter part of last year was 30% snap percentage. So you're right. I think he kind of fits in the same mold of like Herbig or like Thule for me, to where like there's guys in front of him,
But just be patient.
but I think that there's gonna be some more PT for these guys this year.
Right. Yeah, this feels like a 2025 and beyond type
Yep.
pick, right?
Yep.
You're going to have to wait for it to clear out. But I do think it is going to be him and Rashawn Gary
Yep.
at some point in the next 3 years. All right, so goodness. Should I just go with another edge rusher? I feel like at this point,
That's where the best talent, I think, is on the board right now.
I think so. We
Offense
could also
is pretty well picked over. Unless you want the dynamic Carolina duo, Jonathan Mingo and Bryce Young.
Yeah, no.
Or the converted linebacker and Drew Sanders.
Gosh. All right, let's go with Jonathan Mingo.
Oh, wow. I was just kidding.
I don't think I can go edge rusher for the 4th time.
Why not? For the brand, baby. You coward. You had a chance to
I
be
wanted
great.
to go Nolan Smith, honestly.
Yeah.
But we'll go with Mingo here. Can't get worse.
I mean, don't spit in the sky, Eddie. Don't spit in the
Deontay
sky.
Johnson is there now. So, that's probably not going to help the targets. But it's 410, boys.
Yeah.
409.
410 is now Nolan Smith. So thank you very much.
It's 409, boys.
Yeah, 409. It's 10:14 right now, Adam. It's late. All right, so Bob, back over to you for 411. Final 2 picks here as we wrap up the 4th round.
All right, so I am going to I'm going to go to the Addy well here.
Ooh,
I'm going
that's
to
a
take
scary
an
place to be.
IDP.
Scary.
Very scary.
I'm going to take an IDP, and I'm going to take an IDP that was hurt most of last year, but somebody who has a pretty filthy RAS.
Mariano Overshone.
I'm going to take Christian Gonzalez here, cornerback for the Pats. 9.95 RAS. Ran like a 4.4 at 6'2", 205. Christian Gonzalez had 2 big plays in the games that he was active in this past season before he got hurt. I really like Christian Gonzalez. He's been quite a value in a lot of these best balls, and I think he was a first-round draft pick last year. I think you're going to see a whole lot more Christian Gonzalez in 2024.
Okay, so Christian Gonzalez at the 411. John, you're at 412. Last pick of the draft. Take us home, you beautiful 7th-ranked Canadian.
I might be the 8th ranked one after this one, but because I'm gonna finally get Bryce Young off the board here,
Okay.
and into the draft. It's at this point in the draft, looking to draft either high upside swings that are unlikely to pan out, or you're drafting production, and a starting quarterback is going to give you production if you need it, but we'll see. Well, hopefully year 2 is better, and they got some weapons around him now, but still not optimistic, but you never know. Could work out.
Never know. That's the point of the draft, right? You never know.
That's right.
Never know.
But maybe it's the classic Addy.
Sometimes-
Probably
Turn that
not,
into a quote graphic.
Sometimes you
but
know.
maybe. So to
But
wrap
maybe.
up here, 4th round recap: Michael Wilson, 401, Luke Musgrave, Dayon Henley, Miles Murphy, Kobe Turner, Jalen Hyatt, Yaya Diaby, Lucas Van Ness, Jonathan Mingo, Nolan Smith, Christian Gonzalez, and Bryce Young. John, as our guest, what was your biggest takeaway from doing this exercise here, 2023 rookie redraft? What jumps out to you?
I think probably biggest takeaway is that, again, I don't know. I was going to say, we often, when we're doing the rookie draft initially, we get excited about IDPs and we draft them too high. But I mean, Will Anderson went, I think, where he should have. Probably only Jack Campbell and the rest of the linebackers are the ones that shouldn't have gone necessarily as high as they did. But we kind of know that. We learn that every year, but it's hard not to get excited about guys and to see the potential of them in those defenses if they were to become starters. So I get it, but that's always one for me. But yeah, the other one, I mean, I don't know. I think that's pretty much my takeaway. I don't have any. I just nothing major from this draft specifically, other than Puka Nacua was just a major riser.
Loaded first round,
Yes.
but then it really kind of falls off quite a bit. And you're right. I mean we seem to always overvalue these IDPs every single year. Get excited about guys where we shouldn't. But it's easy to do, man. I mean, we see these 9.98 RAS scores. They seems like they land in good spots, but yeah. We're always thrown for some surprises when the season starts.
Also, this draft was really weak at running back, which is making me think about that's really similar to this year. You've got 1 or 2 in Trey Benson to me, and then Jonathan Brooks. I think I talked about if you have time to kind of wait on him, just because of his injury and everything. He looked like the most prototypical running back, but in this one, it's kind of similar to where you have like Achane, however you value him, and then kind of everybody else, in my opinion. I'm sorry. I mean, there's Gibbs and Bijan, but I mean, like after that, it's pretty weak.
Pretty sizable drop off at that point.
So I mean, it's kind of similar to this year, to where it's like, you've got Marv, you've got Neighbors. And then there's a ton of wide receivers, but not a whole lot of running backs. And yeah, I think in 2024, your IDPs are the 3rd round this year. I think you're gonna have opportunity in the 3rd and 4th round specifically to look at these Chops and Latus and
These linebackers in particular.
Honestly, Cooper and Peyton Wilson will probably fall to the 3rd. There's going to be some fun landing spots for some of these wide receivers that are going to elevate some of these running backs and wide receivers into the 2nd round this year. Not to mention, even in 1 QB leagues and Superflex. But if you're Superflex, your 4 quarterbacks are coming off in the first 2 rounds. But even in 1 QB this year, you're probably getting 3 quarterbacks drafted in the first 2 rounds, maybe 4.
1 QB?
Yeah.
Oh, probably not.
Caleb Williams.
I think you could have Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams first 2 rounds.
You don't think Mays in the first 2?
No, I'm thinking back to I remember when Herbert was a 4th round pick.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like McCarthy as much for fantasy.
CJ Stroud
You're
went
probably
what
right.
last season?
Oh,
third round.
Third round.
Yeah.
I guess
So-
maybe I'm elevating him a little too high.
Well, it's
I
just
still think they matter much in one
Yeah.
QB.
I got you.
Addy, takeaways from this exercise for you?
We don't have a Will Anderson in this class, so I mean, it feels like we're gonna see our first IDP off the board later than we have in a while.
Yeah.
This feels like I like this class IDP wise, but it doesn't feel like elite at the top.
I mean, our most updated or our most recent mock draft, I think it was Dallas Turner went at 207.
Mm-hmm.
So late second landing spot, I think will bump some of those guys up into
He went where? What'd you say?
wasn't it 207 in our latest mock that we did?
Oh yeah, right.
So he slid a little bit from 203 to 207.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these wide receivers jumped up. So I think this is a pretty heavy offensive draft. And so I think the value is going to be there. For me, it was kind of interesting that even with the benefit of hindsight, we got about near the end of the second round, and it was just all right, here we go. We're going to start throwing darts, right? After the Witherspoon pick, we go QJ, which was the big question mark. And then you got Branch and Cansey, Campbell, Pace, Michael Mayer. So that tells me that it's a crapshoot. I mean, even here we are a year out with a lot of data on these guys, and it still feels like a little bit of a crapshoot. So for me, the lesson is especially some of these later picks, I don't mind cashing out for veterans because at least we know what we have in these guys. And some of these 3rd and 4th round rookies, it's maybe, but yeah.
Yeah, it's hard, right? Because even though it is a full year of data, a lot of these guys don't necessarily get that starting opportunity yet, right? So, and again, then you also factor in just being rookies in the NFL and acclimating to much tougher competition and things like that. So it's hard to give up on guys. It's hard to get excited about guys. There's a lot that kind of goes into it. So I get, a lot of the hesitations and the question marks that we still had as we went through the latter half of this draft for sure. I think it makes sense. I think it would happen pretty much every year.
Yeah. So there you go, folks. A 2023 rookie redraft, 4 rounds. As the great Sigmund Bloom said, it is never a better time to buy last year's draft class than as we approach the current year's draft. So if you like some of these guys, it may be a good idea to put out some feelers as we approach the 2024 NFL draft. But John, thank you for coming back. It was good to see your beautiful face again. If folks haven't checked out the PFF Fantasy podcast, they should do so over on YouTube or their podcast player of choice. We were on there last week talking about free agent landing spots. John, what do you guys have coming up over on the podcast?
So I think we're recording again tomorrow. We're looking at just continuing the free agent reaction. There's been more moves and trades and stuff since the last time we recorded. And then starting next week, we're going to start doing the rookie profiles for offense and for the IDPs as well.
Sir.
Getting the old gang back together. Kyle B, Joey the Tooth, and John Glosser talking the IDP rookies as well.
Good man.
Very good, man. Good hearts.
Hey,
all
good
the way
people
around.
just seem to find each other.
Addy, you have said that a time or two. I'm going to put that on your tombstone here after this episode's
Appreciate
over.
that. I appreciate that, Josh.
Yeah, so check out John's work. Just an awesome article that you dropped, John, here very recently. I believe it was kind of a free agency roundup on the IDP side of things. Is that right?
Yeah, I did. What did I do? Winners and losers of
Yeah.
the IDP free agency cycle. At least the early part of it, because news just kept coming quick and fast. So there's probably another version of that at some point, but we'll see.
Yeah, so
Focus mostly
check-
on draft content right now.
That's right. That's right. So check it out, folks. PFF.com. You know where to find John's work. And I'm sure we'll have you back on or be back on your show at some point this offseason, my friend. And we'll try to get you down to Bowling Green sometime after Buc-ee's open so you can experience one of America's greatest technological achievements.
Sounds good.
the Chick-fil-A of gas stations.
Does sound good.
Yeah, it's very good. You are correct.
I know. I'm hungry now. It's 11:30 over here, and I've gotten hungry again since dinner. So
Get you some
maybe take a
all-dressed
drive
chips.
to Buc-ee's.
There you go. There you go. Well, thank you all for tuning in. We sure do appreciate it. Make sure that you are subscribed over on the website, theidpshow.com. We just released our ADP 5 drafts in, and it's going to be updated weekly. Drafts are rolling out. I think you've got 13
Yes, sir.
fired up, Addy. So
Hey, if you ain't subbed, you're gonna get your ass beat by someone that
gonna
is.
put that on a bumper sticker and sell it on the IDPshow.com, folks. So make sure you check it out. Adam's ranks are over there at the ADP. So if you're going to be jumping into these best balls, the ADP and Adam's ranks in tandem are a great way to build your draft strategy. We also had Bobby's Mock 2.0 drop today around lunchtime. So make sure you check that out as well. We'll have an article from Mike Wollert looking at AFC coaching changes coming later in the week or early next week. So just all sorts of content over on the website, theidpshow.com. Subscribe for free today. Consider becoming a paid supporter. And next week, we will be back looking, speaking of winners and losers, John, at the fallout from free agency, the guys that did not move teams, but were affected by those who did. So make sure to check that out, and then we'll start rolling on the rookie content as well. It is an exciting time of the offseason, nay, the on-season. So come on board the IDP show. Come on board PFF. We're going to take care of you all off-season. But until next time, y'all take care, and we'll see you soon.
It's the IDP show. Now you know.